So welcome back, Spacefarers, and welcome to a very different ship. It's Bear Bashes Buttons here, and I hope you can pull up a pew and get comfy in the bear cave, because we're here for another episode of Space Haven. Yes, so what you see here is a very different ship to the one that you would have seen in the previous episode had you tuned into episode 2 and 1 in fact. But basically I got to the end of a recording that I was doing before with the original spaceship layout, and as soon as I tried to get in this lovely thing, which would be the stabilizer, the ship stabilizer, hull stabilizer, there was no room. I mean, it was crazy, like it was silly, and then I was running out of resources and I couldn't build any more hull space, and it was just a mess, basically. So I did some thinking and I was like, right, let's build a spaceship. I wanted to create something that had more of the original, the classic spaceship shape that I had in my head compared to what we had before. So I feel like this sort of covers it in a bit of a better way. It just has a slightly better layout and is a little more appealing to your eyes. So just a quick little let's take a little tour. Yeah, let's have a little tour. So basically the similarities that you'll see are the grow room and the recycler in different rooms, and then you've got the bedroom and toilet and things. But what I've done is if you press R, it actually takes you onto the overlays buttons, and I think from what I can remember, if you press R, it takes you back to the most recent one that you clicked on. Yeah, so if you just press R, it takes it back to the most recent one that you've been using. And what I was sort of looking at was the comfort one, and as you can see, this is a very comfortable area. And then if I just let it run for a little bit, you'll see that this is not comfortable. Anyway, we spoke about this before in the other episodes, but it basically meant I just wanted to keep all the engine parts in one space and then separate the two in a nicer way, whilst keeping that sort of ship feel. So I did a little corridor here, and then I did the bedroom slightly different, so they're here laid out like this, and then there's another door that sort of squeezes through, and here is the toilet. So you've got that separate area to this area here, and then I built a little kitchen and dining area, sort of relaxing space with the sofa, a couple of chairs, and the sofa there, and things like that. And then instead of putting everything on this side, I decided to put the recycler on this side with its own little entrance, so it's got its own section, and the composter is out here as well. I also laid out the tool bench and the scrubber and oxygen generator in a line more, so it's more like a sort of just a bit more of a coherent space that you can sort of travel through. And then if we need anything else, I will sort of be doing the same with these here. This is the water purifier here that we can take ice from, which we've done. We've actually got the ice. So basically what happened was I just started a new game. I whizzed through the tutorial into till we got to the a similar state that we were in at the end of episode 2, which was, I think, was the stabilizer from what I can remember. But anyway, we've built the stabilizer. There it is, looking glorious. And next it's going to be the hyperdrive and the navigation console. I'm hoping that I can put the navigation console somewhere up here so that we can have a bit of a head to our ship, so that it will be traveling in this direction, and this is the hyperdrive here. You see it says insufficient available resources, and we actually are struggling for resources at the moment. We don't have any hull blocks and any infra blocks, and infra blocks are basically used for all of basically anything inside the ship, and then the hull is used for anything outside the ship. This, I think, obviously, because I assume it's got some sort of hull structure to it, so it requires hull infrastructure and also the tech one, I think it is, the tech blocks. Whereas, like for a light, for example, only an infra block. So the other thing that we began to do was to harvest the ship like we did in the previous episode. But obviously, this being a different ship and a different game, we have actually come across some aliens, and unfortunately I wasn't recording at the time, which is a real bummer because I was actually trying to get through the tutorial as quickly as possible, but there were some aliens here and we blasted them with our guns. And another cool thing was that this cryo freezer, I think it is, what do they call it? Where would it be? Facility? Yeah, there we go. So, the hypersleep chamber, that's right. You could actually, it was still running. So I went on and opened it, and this person fell out. Dead as a doorknob. Boom. Straight to the floor. So that was pretty exciting. But yeah, the aliens are like little crabs, and we fought them in through here, and then we got the spaceship, and we whizzed out of here. And that was about as much as I think you guys have not seen. We've also mined all the ice off this asteroid, and then there's some other things around. But yes, at the moment, I believe that we are currently, we're scavenging and transferring all the water and everything from this ship. So we're trying to get all the available parts that we need to build our hyperdrive and navigation console. So yeah, that is where you guys join me on this adventure. So yeah, apologies for that. Wasn't quite sure how it was going to work with the whole swapping over of things, but I think this is much better. It's, lessons learned from the previous episodes, and I just wanted to catch up and have a slightly better layout so it's a bit more pleasing to the eye for you guys and for me. What it does mean is that we've also got different people, different crew members here. So we've got Aubrey, Lysandro, Vlad, and Yardley. It's a bit of a mixed bag, as you can see. There's Aubrey is very sort of talented operations, medical, and botany. In fact, I'm going to turn that up because that's important. And then the rest are kind of as a construction and maintenance fella. And then everyone else is sort of a bit average. So there's medical here for Lysandro and industry. So again, we're going to pop that up. And I'm assuming it works in the same way as Rimworld. So it moves from left to right in terms of priority. I don't know if it just sort of skips over and over. So if there was an industry, there was this more industry than there was medical, he would actually do that. But I'm hoping it moves from left to right. So medical being the most important and logistics being the least. So if there is no medical, he'll do industry, and then if there's no industry, he'll do logistics, and then, if there's absolutely nothing to do, he might do some botany and construction. I don't want anyone level 1 doing botany because it can ruin some of the growth of the plants. It's something that I learned. So here we have our vegetables growing, and you see it says skill penalty 25% because of botany 2. Untended penalty. But skill botany 1 did not get any on the fruit vegetables, which is interesting. But the fruit seems to be a little more, well, let's call it tender, I guess. They are slightly more sensitive. But yeah, that is it. So let's jump right ahead and fast forward through some of this nighttime as they sleep peacefully. But it was Vlad and Yardley, I believe, who were the fighters. Oh, no, sorry, completely wrong. Literally the opposite. Aubrey and Lysandro were the fighters. So they're the only ones that have skill, I guess. At least one with, they've actually, I think Aubrey's 3 and Lysandro's 2. Let's have a look. Yeah, so actually Lysandro's 3 and Aubrey is 2. Now, I don't think it's gunner. I do think it's weapons. I'm not sure if it's gunner. But if it is, Lysandro is definitely ahead of it. He's a material mover and he's neurotic. Aubrey over here, he's a florist and he's charming. And we've also got Vlad, who is a geologist, and he's a nyctophiliac, which finds comfort in the dark. So he likes the dark. He's not affected by it. And then we've got another florist, but he's a bit of a psychopath, apparently. So he's immune to being scared and lonely. But his accident rate is higher and his surrender rate is less, so that's good and bad. Some might call being a psychopath a curse, some might be calling it a pleasure. A gift and a curse. So, yes, so as you see, they're doing a lot of moving of boxes and things, which is great. They always complain about the dark in this little corridor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a little wall light, I think. There we are. Interesting about wall light. Doesn't look like they need any construction materials, which is very interesting. So they are better than these because these actually require one infrastructure to build. I think that's right. Again, don't quote me. Or correct me if I'm wrong. Pop it in the comments below. Let me know. Would be great to hear from you guys. So, let's see. Let's go back to lights. I think I'm going to put another light here. That's about right. Just to lighten up these spaces. Now, we are in real desperate need of hull and infrastructure. So, let's see. So, this is the recycler here. And then you put these jobs in. So, I just put it into recycle continuously. But let's not do soft scrap. Let's not do tech. Let's just keep it to energy, hull, and infrastructure. Infra thingies. Infra cubes. Infra cubes? No, infra blocks. So that we can have them be salvaged. So they come over here. They'll fly on like this. And then they'll just begin salvaging. Which is very satisfying to watch. Of course, the dark is not going to help them. But Vlad's doing a lovely job there. Getting rid of some of the infra blocks. That we will hopefully be able to then recycle. So then they put into the ship here, as you will see, into the inventory, pop. So that was the fruit that he was getting. I wonder if he's actually going to take, I wonder how the infra blocks work. There we go, so he's carrying that. Ah, it's funny, they didn't actually, didn't seem to go on there. Well, anyway, I'm not quite sure how all that works exactly. But I do know that this here, you can see he's getting rid of some of the the hull blocks, which is great. So that would be great news. Yardley, lovely fella, in the miner. And then he'll come over and put them down. And then, I'm not quite sure who's on the logistics side, so it's Yardley. Now it's funny that Yardley's not actually on here, because his highest priority is on logistics, but he's actually somewhere else. Well, he's coming back here. And he's gone off. And now he's going to do some botany. No. Bad Yardley. Oh, no, he's fine. He's actually skill 2. So he's actually one of the ones that would be good to do botany. So that's perfect. So it's Yardley and Aubrey, the only ones that can really do the botany. Medical-wise, we've got Aubrey and Lysandra, so that'll be fine if anything happens. Lad's of minor discomfort. It's probably because he's out in space in a spacesuit in the middle of God knows where, and trying to disassemble machinery in the dark, of course. Oh, the other thing that was interesting is that when we came across this little tablet, and when I had Aubrey here drafted, it might be Lysandra, I can't remember which one, but I had high accident rate carrying to storage. Oh God, great. It's because he's a psychopath. Anyway, opened the tablet up. We had a little cog icon above it. We could explore it, and it brought us these. So, this is one of the ones that it opened. The apocalypse. The end didn't happen with a bang or a fanfare or even nuclear fireball. It just crept up on us. It began in the 21st century. Humanity made great strides in that century, but so much damage had already been done, and so much of it was invisible too. When the insect population collapsed, food crops and biodiversity both suffered. Without those, ecosystems all over the globe suffered. By the time we curtailed our CO2 emissions, there were too few trees to sequester the excess. Sound familiar? The result was hotter summers and deeper freezing winters. Species went extinct by the thousands every day. Squabbled and caused our solutions. We pulled ourselves apart. Old allies became bitter rivals. I mean, it sounds like something that happens today. The dead edifices that supported the internet, global trade, just-in-time delivery, and all those things that humanity depended on to live, they fell apart. Starvation, disease, and war made the 22nd century even bloodier. then the 20th. Humanity was always good at adapting though. When the sun baked the land, we invented the thermal regulator. When the crops failed, we invented grow pods. We got better at recycling, at finding new energy sources, but we were always a step behind where we needed to go. Folks used to joke about the big tech firms and their slogans, yesterday's solution, tomorrow. It's not that we destroyed the world, but we certainly made it impossible to sustain human civilization as it was. Too many places lapsed into feudal tyranny or mismanaged themselves into famine, or just plain became unlivable as the climate shifted. Through it all, we never gave up on space exploration. There were complaints, of course, that it was a waste of increasingly valuable resources, that all the money and effort could go towards actually solving the problem. Now it seems maybe space was the only solid investment we ever made. So there we are. That is the backstory of why we are in Space Haven and rather than Earth Haven. So this was actually the hypersleep chamber when we opened, and we got Janet McCaster. Janet was completely oblivious to the events that were plaguing the ship as she was being rushed into a hypersleep chamber. As she slipped into her eternal sleep, she thought of her husband waiting for her to continue their lives. So sad. So sad. But there we go. I think that's probably Janet over here. And what was interesting is when you zoom out and you click on this and you go salvage, you can see the infra scrap, energy scrap, and hull scraps. That's all we're getting now. And if you just click on transfer, you can see that we're transferring all of these goods as well. And then you can see that there was a cat. Cat, so, who is actually a human. Jean-Louise, Jean, Jarry, Jeanette, and Rebbe. And these are all human beings who I believe are on the spaceship. I mean, it says corpse, I'm assuming they're actually dead. Yeah, health -6, low oxygen, -96. Body of a deceased human, body of a deceased human. So they're all deceased. You can take these on board, onto your ship. I didn't really think there was much point in doing that, so I did leave them behind, which I think is a slightly more... it's just a bit of a slightly better way to go, I think, as a burial, sort of left in your ship, rather than being taken on board on here and maybe being composted. Oh, we haven't set up our compost. Good to know. Get rid of that. Continuous. Thank you very much. Because as you see here, you can do human meat into biomatter. Human meat into water and raw chemicals and carbon. You can also do full corpses, which give you 1.5 litres of water and raw chemicals and carbon as well. We could do that. We really, really could. We could go over there, bring over the humans, and compost them. Is it something that we want to do straight away? Probably not. I must admit. I think it's a little bit creepy. And I'm not sure how the crew members are going to deal with bringing human corpses on board and then decomposting them. So we shall see if that is something that we can do without affecting their minds too much. But I'm not sure that's the test that we need right now, because we do need to finish the tutorial still, a hyperdrive and a navigation console. So let's have this run a little bit quicker, because I actually don't know if we can make any of these parts apart from just recycling them. I don't know if there are any other ways. So I'm trying desperately to recycle as many as I can so that we can finally get our lovely hyperdrive into gear, literally. So we just need the infra blocks. So what I might do actually is come in here, go into recycle, and just do let's leave hull scraps, because they are actually good for us. But what we will do is I'll go to here and I'll go to salvage, and I will stop the hull scrap for now, just so we get a higher density of infra blocks. And there goes our craft, picking up goods, dropping them off. You see, it drops it off through here, and then they land on this little pallet here. And then the logistics person, who I think is Yardley, isn't it? Yes, Yardley here, will hopefully deposit these either in here or in here. So we built another storage because it kept complaining that we were full on storage, so I adjusted it. And there we go, here they go, they're off on their mining journey once again. And yep, keeping up with the plants, lovely. There is one thing that we need, which is carbon. And now carbon, I believe, is over here. So what we can do is we can click on mine and we can go, right, I want all the carbon on there. And they will go off and hopefully they will go and mine some. You see, there we go. I wonder who that is over there. We've got Yardley doing it. So Yardley, has he actually got any skill in mining? Probably not, no. Seeing as he hasn't got anything to do, he's gone off to mine, which is fine. I think the other thing is once you've got a lot of jobs lined up, they do start to prioritize certain jobs, even if they're not on their priority list. I have felt that was one of the things that happened. What just happened there? Anything that we should be worried about? Doesn't like it. Fine. I think power-wise, we've got stored 10 out of 25. Oh, 6. Oh, about 25. Okay, it's not too bad, I don't think. Seems to be okay. Yeah, it's okay. We're consuming 0.01 per second and generating 15, so that definitely seems like enough. Power availability medium. Fine. Okay, well, let's not stress too much about that then. Pop it here on 3rd speed. Now, it is funny that it keeps doing that. Why does it keep... It worries me that it does that. Interesting. Okay. So I wonder if it's just stopped doing it because it's not got any hull, because it just said in his hull, right? Yeah. No, infra scrap, there we go. He's unmet. Fine. Still haven't got any of it, so oh, in fact, I'm going to cancel these because I do not want them being built over the engine. The hyper sleep. No, what's it called? Hyperdrive. Yeah, hyperdrive. Now, high construct priority. We should pop that on there. And it won't make a difference just because we actually haven't got anything going there, but critical resources low. We've still got food, so that's okay. We've got lots of fibers, which is good. We need to create fibers, but I'm not actually sure what the fibers will be used for in the end, so it'll be good to see. And there we go, they're going back into another evening, day 11, and that is them waking up, and there they go, off to work. Perfect. Great, so there they are, doing their little jobs. Now we're really going to need these blocks, so I'm hoping that we can get someone over here and getting their, that's it, doing their thing. So I'm hoping that they will start to get some infra blocks that we will need while these two take care of the botany. I'm assuming Lysandro is someone who can do the botany, please. No. So, oh, he's doing logistics. Fine. Looks like Yardley is as well, so that's great. Perfect. There he goes. Perfect. And then he's going to go off and do probably some mining for some hull parts. Yeah, brilliant. Scavenging rather than not mining. Great, and you can definitely do the botany, so that's good. Great, it's all ticking along nicely. It is a bit frustrating that we don't have any of these materials that we need, but we will be able to hopefully get enough by production speed reduced. Oh, it's low powered. Fine. Okay, well, what we will do actually in the future as well, we will need to get a bigger power generator. Again, it needs 6 of these infra blocks, which we do not have. So we are going to have to wait for that, unfortunately. It does seem to cut out every time, which is worrying. I'm hoping that doesn't affect it too much. I'm hoping it just affects the speed and doesn't actually stop us from doing what we need to do. It's a bit worrying as well that Yardley is the one who's doing all of the botany and appears to be doing most of the recycling, and he's the one with the highest accident rate. So that will be interesting to see how that comes along. Meanwhile, here they are doing their thing, getting enough of the materials that we will eventually need. It's good to see that we're stripping it all back. I'm not sure what these are. I think when I click on it, I'm actually clicking on the derelict pirate coalition ship. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. They are there destroying it, and it's good to see it get stripped back. We've got most of the carbon, which is good, which means this will be running sweetly, which does also mean that these will be growing in a very happy environment. So let's see. Growth rate 100%, 100%, 100%. Perfect. And this should also be happily making some water. Water collector reclaims water vapor from the air. Place it close to grow beds for maximum efficiency, which is why we popped it in here. Let's have a look again at the power grid. We seem to be doing okay. It's power availability high, so that's fine, except when this runs. I think because this is idling at the moment, it's actually... Oh no, working, there we go, hull scrap. Perfect, working on a hull scrap. Oh, fantastic. There we are. So we will now be able to get another little bit of hull on there. That'd be good. Even though we do need these infra blocks, but we will get there eventually. Let's fast forward this a little bit. There we are. Alessandra's getting some other stuff. We do have 3 of those, so that's good. And we've got 16 of those, and we've got some energy blocks left over. I think it's hull scrap there, so that's good. So we do have some scraps up in our inventory as well, ready to be recycled, so that's perfect. And they're all still mining over here, happily going, yep. Perfect, look at them go. There we go, it's back into the ship, and off he trots. Ah, who is this then? There we go, Yardley was off mining some carbon, which is great, so he'll bring that back, put it in our storage, ready to go into the CO2 producer generator. What is that? Is that a little shat pants? What? Vlad? What are you doing? You just shut your pants. Minus form? I don't think so. He's definitely had a little accident there. But, what? Hold on. What? How do I, what do I need to see? Like, how to... maybe I can draft him and then I can get rid of his... shat pants regressing. Oh my god. So the comfort of the room is nullified. Nullified by negative comfort. You're making everyone uncomfortable because you pooped your pants, mate. Oh, God, okay. So, what? Is he just... God, he must be so uncomfortable. I mean, he must be literally the most uncomfortable human being... I was going to say on Earth, but it must be in the universe at the moment, in space. Major discomfort, yeah, great. Feeling a bit hungry, low energy, spacesuit. Okay, oh, God. Don't know why I'm checking the inventory as though it's going to be there, but... How, I mean, close by Yardley. Oh my god. So you just pooped your pants. Okay. Can you not take them off? Jesus. So you can't. So that's it. That's it. You've just pooped your pants, and you're just gonna have to sit in it, live in it. Oh god, you're going to the spacesuits and everything. Oh mate. it's rough. Oh, look, another little delivery. Bing. Brilliant. Okay, well... So, I think on that note, we are going to wrap up this episode of Space Haven. And we will tackle Vlad's little turn of the pants later on. In the next episode, it's a shame we haven't got the haven't managed to get the hyperdrive and the navigation console up and running, but that is something that we will definitely be looking to do in the next episode as soon as we have enough infra blocks and hull blocks that we can finally build this and then move up to build our spaceship. Well, I guess cockpit or something? Yeah, I'll have a little cockpit or like a little pilot's hub up there. But yeah, again, thank you very much everyone for joining in. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Really, really loving this game, and I hope you catch the next episode. Yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye now.